Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fight back. Yeah. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not, think a straight kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more, speak out. It's about to head south. You're never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?
I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and pissed it away. I ain't fucking okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck in for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah, rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat from the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million motherfuckers that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I knew nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to run my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never be late. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. Slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a goddamn mess. Hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my devil when I knew nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you.
Good morning, evening, and afternoon, everybody. Just one quick second.
They come in millions, they blocking your vision, but no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction, cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
Love that one. Love that one. That one is so good. That one is so good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Friday with Tea with a Hacker. Good morning, everybody. That's good stuff right there. That is good stuff right there. I am so happy to see everybody this morning. So happy to see all the pre-stream hype. So happy to see all the pre-stream questions. You know, I got a DM from somebody. I got to share this DM, right? Value your wisdom and enjoy hearing your viewpoints on topics. The guests are fun, but this is Neil Raw. Thank you to the person who said that. Means a lot to me. That's what you come here for on Friday morning. Little tea with a hacker. Sit down. We throw some soapboxes around and we chill out. We have a good time. I'm rocking some masala chai. I see some comments about the hoodie. Yes, there was frost on the ground in North Carolina today, and I'm gonna file an official complaint with the weather system here because I was not happy when I woke up this morning and saw 35 on the thermostat outside. Was not happy. Man, but I got my tea, I got my hoodie, rocking them both. All right, good morning. This is our Tea with a Hacker. Welcome to all of our new joiners as well as our regular visitors. Real conversations with real people. This is our short format, so I am going to run through our intro really quickly. We do have moderators in chat. I want to personally thank all of our moderators each and every stream for their dedication. We have some amazing moderators. I love my moderator team so much. They are super helpful in getting this stream up and running. So make sure you drop your hype hands and show massive respect and massive support for the moderators in chat. Moderators are here, real important rule. Moderators are here to keep free. Let's take a sip of tea. Let's try that again. Moderators are here to keep chat free of sexist, racist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. We have zero tolerance for toxicity on this stream. And this is what I love about it, right? The community knows this. The community knows this, and that's why they show up here, is because we have a zero tolerance for toxicity on this stream. So thank you. Thank you, Goboro Legend. There is a very toxic part of InfoSec crowd, and we are grateful that you choose to come here and get away from that toxicity. So thank you very much for being a part of that here. I do trust my moderators explicitly. Their decision is final. If you're put on a timeout or a ban, you appeal to a moderator, you don't appeal to me. This is a great time to remind you, hit that exclamation point Discord and get access to our Discord channel so that you can appeal to said moderators if you need to. They are not here. They are not here, however, to stifle chat whatsoever. As a matter of fact, this is our AMA chill stream in the morning. AMA means ask me anything. If you're new to this stream, the AMA part of ask me anything means literally ask me anything. You can also ask me questions like this. You still gonna be out there playing golf in this cold weather? I have a tee time on Saturday. I have a tee time tomorrow. I'll let you know if you catch pictures of me on Instagram in a hoodie out there playing golf. You'll know how my golf day was tomorrow when I got that picture up on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, do make sure you do hit those exclamation point socials so that you can get access to all of our social media accounts, including our Instagrams. We do have fun over on the Instagram-grams every once in a while too. Need to change it to A&A, ask Neil anything. We could do that for you, BSEC. That makes you feel better. Got me distracted again. That's why I love the Friday morning streams, right? I just kind of like cut loose on it. With that being said, I'll be answering questions on stream. Your questions are incredibly important to us, and they are the prime value that comes from this stream being live. Listen, all of you are so incredibly lucky that this stream is live. You all get your questions asked right now, live on stream, and then I get questions in my DMs and whatnot during the week, and they're like, hey Neil, can you answer this question for me? And I'm like, I just answered that last week on stream. Go back and watch that stream last week. You all get the benefit of having it asked live on stream. That is definitely That is definitely the benefit of coming to these live streams. So listen, pick up that keyboard, drop your question into chat. I promise you that we do have moderators who are helping me gather up all these questions. I've gone through kind of how our question process works. We do drop the questions in there, and we will get to them. I'd like to thank our partners. In no particular order: Battleship Security, Attack IQ, Elastic, Query.ai, VMware Carbon Black, Net Abstraction, Josh Mason and the Cyber Supply Drop, and of course, at Root Beverages. It's funny because like I've seen like at Root showers Instagram that they've got their stock back, that they're back in stock and they're sending stuff out. We see stuff in Discord that people are getting their cases and cases and cases of at Root beverage, and I'm like, yes, Root is coming into everybody. And you know, and then all of a sudden, like, I get a message from our contact at Root, and they're like, Neil, I can't send you your cases. Your community has bought everything up again. We're out of stock. So all of you get to enjoy the at Root beverages because you bought it all up before they could even send me mine. So I hope you enjoy it. Love those guys at Root. Love those guys at Root. They are so awesome. I do a couple things to cover down on today. We'll knock out a couple questions. I've got a couple things I want to cover down on today. We do have a giveaway. Checking my notes. It looks like I've got two 1 month Blue Team Labs online that we're going to be giving away. May or may not do some more. We'll see about that. Listen, if you haven't already, make sure you go turn notifications on the channel. I didn't post this up, mostly just because I didn't have time. But I've been invited to the CEH Red Team 5 Invitational Capture the Flag that starts today. I was going to try and stream it, but I haven't taken the time to get my battle station set up. So I'm a little bit behind, you know, in terms of getting ready for the Red Team 5 Capture the Flag. So when this stream ends, that's probably what I'm going to try to focus on. And so if I do go live again, make sure you have notifications turned on so you know that when I go live with that Red Team 5, if you want to watch me do a Capture the Flag, if you want to talk to me while I do a Capture the Flag, learn about you know what my methodology is like. I don't typically do these. Listen, I don't typically do these, and the reason why is, you know, there's a lot of content creators that are out there streaming this type of stuff, and I don't like to saturate the airways with this, but this was an invitational. It is CEH. I do have a massive amount of support for CEH. I think CEH's a great organization. We've had Ryan Rutan from CEH on stream before, and he's a huge supporter of the community. Ryan absolutely loves you guys. He's the guy who looks like, you know, Ryan Reynolds out there. We actually kind of made fun of him for looking like Ryan Reynolds one time. And so like this will be one of those things that I do because I want to support CEH, just because they're an awesome organization. So do make sure you do have those notifications turned on for that one. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be over the next 3 days, so it may be a busy weekend with the Capture the Flag. Let's cover down on a couple dates that are important while we're talking about dates. Don't worry about, you know, we're going to stream for a while today. I'm feeling pretty good about streaming. You know, streaming this morning. I didn't get to stream all week. I've had a rough week this week. And so like, first of all, I'm not going to belabor how rough of a week I've had this week. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at all of you who reached out to me in DMs and private messages and things like that, to offer support. I had somebody reach out to me literally at 3 o'clock this morning, who's a former veteran, who was like, "Hey Neil, if you need to talk, you know, I'm here for you." That stuff hits right in the feels, without a doubt. And so thank you all so very much for those of you who reached out and did that. It was a rough week this week. You know, we canceled a couple streams just because of that, but we're back on track now, and we're not going to belabor that point. Let's talk about upcoming schedules. The 17th, the 17th, so that's 2 Wednesdays from now, we're going to have our good buddy Rick McElroy back on stream from VMware Carbon Black. If you've seen Rick on here before, he is an amazing individual. He's got a wealth of knowledge in this space. And I always give him crap about XDR, right? I always give him crap about XDR. So you can always come on there. You can catch me put VMware Carbon Black to shame as I figure out how they're going to try to position XDR so it doesn't suck. Speaking of VMware Carbon Black, speaking of it, I have a super awesome surprise. We hinted at it. We hinted at this a couple weeks ago. We got a confirmation of it literally just a couple days ago. Okay. In December, first or second week of December, we are going to be working with Carbon Black, and we're going to be bringing a Threat Hunter challenge to the cyber insecurity stream. Now, this is something that it doesn't exist out there. You can't just like, oh, I'm going to go to VMware Carbon Black's page and sign up for the Threat Hunter challenge and participate in it, right? You can't go see this course on BTLO or, you know, Hack the Box or anything else like that. This is something that is exclusive. It is explicit. It is something that Carbon Black has put together and is working with us on to bring to you all. Right. And we're going to be able to basically be able to create almost a competition in the cyber insecurity family here centered around threat hunting. And there will be prizes and giveaways, obviously, because why wouldn't there be on a cyber insecurity stream? But this will be exclusive to you all. So make sure, again, I got back to making sure you're paying attention to the socials. Make sure you do have notifications turned on. We'll obviously advertise the crap out of this so that you know when it's happening, but that is happening in December, and we are super excited and super grateful VMware Carbon Black for partnering with us on that one. And that is going to be a super fun Threat Hunter challenge to have. So that'll be in December. Proud moment for myself. Let's talk about Try Hack Me for a second. Everybody's known Try Hack Me for years. Try Hack Me's been around for a while. Maybe like 2018 or something like that. And everybody's seen that over Christmas they do their Advent of Cyber. Now, I've never streamed a single Try Hack Me on stream before, and I've kind of talked about why that is that I don't do that sort of thing. But the co-founder of Try Hack Me reached out to me this week and asked me if I'd be willing to go ahead and do a stream or do a couple streams on the Advent of Cyber specifically this year for them, and wants to talk about future partnership with the cyber insecurity stream as well. So in December, I will break my typical tradition and I will do some videos for the Advent of Cyber as part of that. And we are going to be working with Try Hack Me on a more tight-knit partnership between the cyber insecurity stream and Try Hack Me. So that is also going on. Let's see here, looking at the calendar, trying to see what else. Oh, resume reviews. This is very, very important. Make sure you listen to this. November 29th. So the night of November 29th will be the monthly resume review for November. Okay, so you can obviously go back, you can watch some of the resume reviews so you can see what the format is for resume reviews, but November 29th will be the November resume review for November. Now, you have to be in Discord. So again, hit that exclamation point Discord if you need access to the Discord to do that, right? You also need to be at least a Narwhal Prime membership to be able to put your resume into that resume review channel. Get it in early. And let me say this, right? Even if you end up editing your resume between now and the time we do the review, I literally start at the top of the page and go down. So it's almost a first come, first serve basis. And so if you're like, oh, I'll wait till last minute, we had a lot of people wait until the night of the resume review to drop their resumes in. And obviously we didn't get a chance to review everybody's resume because of that. It is definitely in your best interest to get that resume in early, because we do a first come. What is that? What's that programming? First in, last out? No, that's not it. We're definitely not doing it. We're doing first in, first out, right? So FIFO, right? So first in, first out. Make sure you get that in sooner rather than later. Our basic mentee, you need to have your November resumes in before November 18th. I'm going to do them that weekend of November 20th because Carmen and I are going on vacation the week of the 22nd. Yes, Carmen and I are taking a vacation. Finally, we're going to take it on November 22nd. And so my basic mentees, make sure you get those resumes in before the 18th so we can get your videos done that weekend. For my cyber proteges that are in the cyber protege program, we've already had 2 of the one-on-ones this week. We will look to do our group mentoring session that weekend of the 20th as well. So vacation, is that allowed? I know sometimes it feels like it's not. Sometimes it feels like it's not. Has made it expressly clear that you will never see her face on stream. As a matter of fact, I try to like hide the camera when I'm like sitting in sub chat. You can see that like the door to the office is right here. That's what this wall is right here. And so I try to hide the camera, and I'm sitting in Cheb Chat, and she'll come knock on the door, and I'll be like, oh, come on in. I'm just working on some website stuff with Chris. And she'll be like, nope, I know better. I know that camera's on. She is evasive. She is evasive. And so if you definitely want to see a Carmen mod appearance, your best bet is to be in sub chat to do that, because that's the only time that she hangs out in sub chat. What else we got? Let's see if we got any other questions that we can knock out really quick. Actually, real quick, there was a question that came in. There's been a couple questions that have come in. This one came in on LinkedIn this morning. Now, I typically don't do this, but I thought this question was very, very awesome. And so there was a question that came in on LinkedIn. And I promised this person, Steen, if you're listening, I promised you that I would answer this question, right? The question said, I've continued to watch your content, which is great, by the way. Recently, your walkthrough of various resumes and LinkedIn profiles are talking about the LinkedIn resume reviews that we've done. I have a question, though, about LinkedIn. I can see you suggest having the same information in your resume as LinkedIn, but I'm a bit hesitant to spill out all the software tools and details on LinkedIn profile for my current company. This, of course, limits the public knowledge of software tools, etc., within an organization I work for security reasons. How do you balance between wanting to get notice for job offerings, but also as a security person not giving away too much information? Now, again, this is outside the norm. I don't typically take questions from LinkedIn, but I thought this one was really, really good. Really good. And so let's talk about that really quick. Let's think about this, right? I know that there have been lots of classes that have taught, oh my God, if you want to know what security technology company X looks for, go to LinkedIn, look for job postings, see if you can find a job posting, and that'll tell you what antivirus they're using, right? That'll tell you what SIM software they're using, right? That'll tell you what programs, what technologies they're using for their defensive. Now, listen, back in the day, that was a very real thing, right? We knew that there were certain antiviruses that had less fidelity than others. You know, we knew how to get around technologies like Proofpoint. What I would say to you is that that's not an invalid argument. But what I would also say to you is that as the years have gone by, that's not nearly as prevalent as it was, say, 5, 10, even 15 years ago, right? And that's not me saying go blast your entire security stack out there on LinkedIn. But there is nothing bad that's going to come from you saying, I have experience with Splunk at Abbott, because that's what we built at Abbott, right? What exactly is going to come? Oh my God, they've got Splunk. we can't hack that organization. That just doesn't happen, right? You know, even when it comes to EDR, it is a variable fact that if you're hacking one of the Fortune 100 spaces, you know that they have EDR, or most likely have some form of advanced malware protection, advanced malware defense protection, right? And we still see them get hacked. And so what I think you're seeing is, I think you're seeing some legacy mentality around OPSEC and OSINT, right? OPSEC stands for operational security and OSINT stands for open source intelligence, just in case you didn't know the difference between those two, right? I think you're seeing a little bit of that legacy mentality carry over into a time and a place where that is less and less of a concern. Now, again, for those out there who are going to take one little thing that I say and blow it 9,000 miles out of proportion, or 5,000 miles out of proportion, depending on how you look at it, I'm not saying that you completely throw OPSEC and OSINT out the window, right? But what I am saying is that there are ways that you can put this stuff on your resume without it being an OPSEC and an OSINT concern, right? You can say, I've got experience building and developing Splunk use cases at a company, and there's nothing wrong with that. What exactly are you giving away? I have experience threat hunting with Carbon Black at company X. What exactly are you giving away? That they've got Carbon Black there? Good job. Most companies have EDR anyway, right? And so I think that the benefits of putting that on your resume to make you discoverable in this space far outweigh the OPSEC and the OSINT concerns. Now, let me say that again. If you do it smart, I do think that the benefits on LinkedIn outweigh the OPSEC and the OSINT concerns you may have in doing so. Happy to answer any follow-on questions to that one. Stein, I don't know if you're still in chat or not, but I did want to cover that because I told you that I would. I like this one because I saw this one when it came through, right? To even talk about work-life balance can be seen as a lazy person talking. I had this conversation with one of my mentees this week, right? As we were talking about questions to ask in a job interview to make sure that you're getting, you're getting the right picture as you're looking at that organization, right? If you're afraid that asking about work-life balance makes you a lazy person, then I don't even think you're comfortable yourself with understanding or appreciating what a work-life balance looks like. Because if you're afraid to have that conversation with an employer because you're afraid of looking lazy, you don't value your own work-life balance. Let me say that again. Let me say that again very pointedly. If you're afraid to have that conversation, it's because you're afraid in your own skin that you have an unhealthy work-life balance. Right? Right? Don't do it. You have to have that conversation. In a work from home, in a place where we're constantly, even passively encouraged to work longer hours because we're working from home, if you are afraid to have that conversation, you are encouraging your own unhealthy mental situation at work. And if your employer says, well, you must clearly be lazy because you're asking about work-life balance, you don't want to work for them. Let me say that again. I would not expect, if anybody on my team is hearing me right now, if anybody on my team now or in the future is hearing me right now and ever hears me say, you must clearly be lazy because you care about a work-life balance, walk out the door. Walk out the door. That is not a company you want to work for. That is not a leadership that you want to be a part of, right? You have to have a healthy work-life balance. You have to. Speaking of questions, speaking of any type of question that I will answer, this is another one. Why did you stop streaming on Twitch? There's a long story about there. I've documented it before in the past. The short story is Twitch has become a center of toxicity in the streaming community that I can no longer support or be a part of, especially the positive message that we try to promote on this stream. The discoverability isn't worth it. As a matter of fact, it is practically non-existent. Okay? It's practically non-existent. They are a pay to play, as you can see with their recent pay to boost your stream mentality. I don't believe or support the hot tub meta. Should the list go? Let's see here. Scroll through some of these questions. Let's see what we can do here. At what time do you prefer to go to the gym? In the morning for sure. In the morning for sure. I can tell you that it's been harder since it's got cold out because, you know, it's like 30 some degrees in the morning, and you know, it gets kind of hard to do that gym workout when it's 35 degrees outside. I didn't do it when I was in the military. I definitely don't want to do it when I'm not in the military. Hot tub CTFs, BSEC. Is that's why I didn't advertise the red team challenge from Synac, because I'm gonna go change into my Speedo right after this stream, and we're gonna do the red team Synac red team CTF in a hot tub. It's throwing down. It's throwing down. Maybe I can get some more pen tests in if I do it from a hot tub with a laptop. Hey, Neil, how long CISSP cert do I need to study? Good question. I don't know, because everybody is different. I would say use the resources that are out there. Make sure you take a lot of practice tests, and that'll help you understand the pieces that you're missing. Listen, any organization that has practice tests out there, make sure you're doing the practice test, right? Don't discount practice test. Don't discount study groups, right? Don't discount study groups. All of that stuff helps you in the long run with understanding how long it's going to take you to pass something. So I'd absolutely not turn that down. Absolutely not turn that down. I like this one. I'll push this one because this is a really good one. I just happened to see this one. What is next after the free stuff? I love this question. I love this question. Thank you for phrasing it like that. Thank you for phrasing it like that. I want to show you all something that has been in the works for a while. I've actually talked about it before on David's stream as well. Beardsec with the cynical answer. That Beard's angry in the morning. Go get you a Snickers. Go get you a Snickers. If you've seen me talk on David's show, you'll see that I talked about kind of my proof of concept for the Gartner chart of cybersecurity trainings, right? And so I want to kind of give a small update on that this morning. It is coming close to being done. The resume rubric was kind of one of the first things that we wanted to drop to the website, which we did a while back. So you can go to the cyberinsecurity.tv website if you didn't know this already, and under the resources page, we've actually put up the resume rubric that you can use to self-assess your resume kind of ahead of the resume review, right? One of the next things that Chris and I are working on, and I'm happy to share it with you, that is not supposed to be that monitor. That is that obviously is not supposed to be that monitor. Let's see if we can fix vMix really quick. Center desktop. That's what I want. There we go. Fix that. Boom. So for those who are wondering like how the questions get aggregated, this is, you can see all the questions that are coming through on chat. This is how we add them to the queue. But you'll recognize this, right? This is the Gartner chart that we started to work on as part of the training. I'm going to hide this question just because I don't think you can see it because it's at the bottom. You still can't see it. So at the bottom, one of the things that we've added right to this is we've broken the tabs up into cognitive for red team, cognitive for compliance, cognitive for blue team, demonstrative for by company, demonstrative for red team, demonstrative for blue team, and risk and governance. So we've broken the tabs out down at the bottom based on red team, blue team, training company, and compliance. So those are 4 new tabs that we are adding to the Gartner chart that we're working on. And then of course we still have the workflow path that we've been working on to get that done. Now, this is a chart that I saw floating around in Discord earlier this week. My vision is not to replace this chart. But what I don't like about this chart is that it makes the assumption that you know what it is that you want to do based on this information up here at the top. And it's pretty extensive, right? And it doesn't necessarily have levels associated with it, right? CPTX, right, is obviously vastly different than CEH, and you can't really tell when you look at this chart what those levels of those certifications are. Also, it doesn't talk about what is demonstrative versus what is cognitive. And so for those who don't understand instructional methodology, right, you want to have 2 pieces to grade a student on, right? What's their ability to mentally retain information, and what's their ability to demonstrate it, right? You want to try to have some form of both of those. And so this is why when we get back to the way that we've got the Gartner chart broken down, we want to break it down based on cognitive. We want to break it down based on demonstrative. And so the cognitive stuff will just simply have all the cognitive companies that are out there and all the cognitive certs that are out there. The demonstrative ones will be like Blue Team Labs Online, right? Where there is no cognitive piece. Try Hackby, where there is no cognitive piece, right? Things like that. And so that's kind of point number 1 that I wanted to make. And then with the determining your path, I very much wanted to take, again, this mentality assumes that you know where you want to be in the hierarchy. And one of the questions that anybody sees that we get asked very significantly on this stream is, I don't know what it is that I want to do. How do I decide what it is that I want to do? And so I've been working on this flow chart for a while that says, do you know what to do? No. How do you think? Do you like to fix problems? Do you like to solve problems? And then we break the flow chart up and eventually making it around to a certification choice, right? So that SAC, as you asked to your point, what to do after the free stuff, this hopefully gives you between this view here and between a view like this, because as you could see, we are putting the free training on this Gartner chart. So you know what the best free training is that's out there, so that when you're ready to start spending money, you can see where to spend money based on the value of your career. Now, a couple of things. I want to give a huge shout out to my friends at CyberSN, right? Obviously, I was stressing because in my infinite free time to go out there and try to scrape all of these certifications and categorize them and everything, I was not looking forward to that exercise. After building the relationship with CyberSN, they were kind enough, and I appreciate their partnership so much, to give me their spreadsheet of all the certifications that they've already scraped, well over 315 certifications in offensive, defensive, and compliance space that they have been able to find that they're currently using on their CyberSN website. So please go support CyberSN. Please go give them a huge shout out, because they are awesome, and they are enabling this chart here. Last point on this chart before I'll kind of head back over and look for questions, right? because I am Chief Content Officer of Iony, I know that there will always be people who says, well, duh, Neil, of course you're going to put Iony in the upper right-hand quadrant. I plan on releasing a grading criteria sheet that shows how I chose to grade these. And I will also explicitly highlight the Iony certs so that you can hide them, so you don't have to see them, and you can say, Neil, we think you're biased, you know, we're not going to pay attention to you. That's fine. Go to the next ones in line, because they're still going to be based on my opinion, and they're still going to be based on the grading criteria that I put up in that tab. And so I am trying to build in a little bit of that anti-bias, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to build in a little bit of anti-bias built into this chart so that you all can still make informed decisions. Like, I still think on the red team side, on a value to career basis, $7,500 for a SANS cert versus $1,500 for an OffSec cert is still more valuable than a SANS cert. And I hate OffSec. Personally, I hate OffSec, but I still think it's more valuable to your career than SANS is. And so I have no problem talking about that and being incredibly transparent about where I see that value. So, long answer to kind of the question that you asked, Zach, but this is definitely something that I've been working pretty extensively on for a while. I'm getting closer and closer to having it, I just saw undefined creatures. It feels like we should be seeing this. It's a lot of behind the scenes. I love showing you guys how the sausage is made. I'm incredibly transparent, right? I want you guys to see how the sausage is made, right? Make sure you bookmark cyberinsecurity.tv. This is where this is going to live. I want you all to see this, right? Because these are the questions that I get asked all the time, right? And these are the questions that I think are going to be incredibly helpful for you to find this stuff, right? Where do we find these free resources? The best place to start is in our Discord. We have a resource repository on our Discord where we have a ton of free resources there. What's behind the beef with OffSec? I hate the try harder mentality. I think it's incredibly toxic. I wrote about it. And again, you can go read my LinkedIn and you can see that this was something that I wrote about years ago before I ever joined Iony, before Iony was ever a client of mine. I have always thought that it was incredibly toxic, right? And so like that's something that I'm very, very transparent on. I know Dev has wrote about it as well. I hate the mentality. I don't care how you dress that pig up, right? I don't care how many webinars you do to try to justify why that mentality exists. I have always hated it. And this is coming from somebody like, this isn't hate because I'm outside the club and I can't get in. I've taken two. I've done pen testing with Backtrack and pen testing with Cali. I've done them both, right? And I still hate them, right? Still hate them. That's a personal opinion. That's not reflective of my opinion as Chief Content Officer at Iony. That is a personal opinion. And that is incredibly well documented on LinkedIn. Like I said, you go see one of my articles on LinkedIn and see that I've hated them for a long, long time. Why is it so hard to be called a hacker? I'll tell you exactly why. Because of toxicity and imposter syndrome that we have in cybersecurity. Toxicity that we have in cybersecurity, right? Hit exclamation point imposter if you are suffering from imposter syndrome. Hang out in Discord. We have an entire channel dedicated to imposter syndrome, right? It is one of the mental health challenges that we have in cybersecurity, right? And I think that it is the try harder mentality that forces that level of toxicity on us, right? Go watch my interview. Like, if anybody wants to, head on over to YouTube and watch the video interview that I did with Ryan Rattan. One of the first questions I asked him as the community director for Synax, somebody who deals with $1 million hackers on a day-to-day basis, I asked him how to define a hacker. And you might be surprised what his answer is. And when you go watch that and you see his answer, you'll realize that the only thing that's stopping you from calling yourself a hacker is probably yourself. It's probably yourself. Right? And so, like, don't let the industry tell you how you define your expertise in this industry. Let me say that again, slowly and with conviction, as if I'm on a movie set. Don't let the industry tell you how to define your skills and expertise. Okay? You are a professional. You are an expert, or you're on your road to being an expert. You are the only one that knows what you're capable of. This has been my big key this week, right? About perspective. Let's talk about perspective for a second, right? And let's be real honest with ourselves about perspective. I studied quantum physics when I was in high school. It was one of those things. I was probably autistic on the spectrum a little bit growing up, at some point in time, because like I couldn't sit for homework. I couldn't sit for class, but you gave me a book on quantum physics and Einstein's theory of relativity, and I could just I'd breeze through it. I was that kid with a dry erase marker in the bathroom drawing on the mirror. Like, I loved it. It was awesome. One of the concepts that they teach about reality in that, right, is if you take a piece of paper, and I'm looking around as if I have like a piece of paper out here, right? I'll use my iPad as an example, right? Let's assume this iPad's a piece of paper, right? If I were to draw a stick figure on this piece of paper, right? And then let's say that stick figure had life, just for the sake of conversation. And I were to come along and I were to see that stick figure were able to see me, that stick figure would go, "Oh my God, a God. I will worship you." And I'm like, no. I'm not a God. There's a difference between 2D and 3D. Let me explain to you the difference between 2D and 3D. And they don't get it because they don't have a perspective of 2D and 3D. Right? And so you can't explain perspective to somebody who's never seen it or never lived it before, right? You can't explain perspective. So what I want you to understand is that you can call yourself whatever it is that you want to when you're comfortable with it, when you feel comfortable in your skin, right, about it. And if somebody questions you on it, it's because they're toxic, number one. And number two, they don't have your perspective. They haven't lived your life. They haven't walked in your shoes. Right? And so don't let the hate of somebody else, because they don't understand your perspective, determine your success and value in this career. Somebody clip that, because I want to save that for later. Thank you, Doc J. Book called Flatland. I remember that book now. And I think there was another one too. There's another one out there too. Flatland was a good book as well. Perspective is something incredibly important in this industry that I don't think people understand a whole lot of. This is a good one. Is cybersecurity training never ending? It can be. It can be. This is why it's important to have a work-life balance. This is why it's important to, when I talk about perspective comes as it pertains to dealing with toxicity, specifically in this industry, right? Right? There are people who will tell you, like, I saw something stupid on Twitter the other day. Not that. Somebody was railing on a dude because he was saying he was a security architect that didn't have any coding experience. And they were going after this guy like crazy. And I was just like, why? Why? And it's because you've got people who make assumptions in this industry, and we're the worst about it. We're the utter worst about it, right? And so you'll have people who tell you, well, if you don't keep learning, you'll never be successful in this industry. And that is a lie. That is a lie. Okay? You have to balance however much learning you are capable of doing on a day-to-day basis, right? With your own mental health. And so like I said, it can be ever learning, and you shouldn't shy away from that. Like there's still stuff that I will never learn as much as you all are learning today, right? It just can't happen, right? The amount of knowledge that exists out there right now versus the amount of time that I have in a day to do what it is that I do. I would love to quit my job and do nothing but learn. I would love to quit my job and do nothing but learn, because there's so much good stuff to learn out there right now, right? But you can't. And so I would encourage you to find that balance. Is Blue Team Online for beginners? I heard it's a little hard for beginners. Listen, I don't think you should, when you look at learning, speaking of learning, I don't think you should go into something and say, that's not for me because it's not a beginner, right? I'm a fan. Like, let me talk to you about my learning strategy. And this is very much how I learn things, right? I would rather figure out what I don't know instead of make assumptions, or again, let the industry tell me what I don't know. I don't want the industry to say, hey, Neil, you can't use an iPhone because you're a boomer. Okay, I guess I'll return my iPhone and go get a little flip phone because I'm a boomer. No! Like, why would you do that? Nobody on this channel, I don't think anybody on this channel, right, would be like, go return your iPhone. You're a boomer, right? You don't know how to use an iPhone because you're a boomer, right? So why would you let the industry tell you, don't go do Blue Team Online because you're not advanced, right? That's the try harder mentality, right? That's the toxicity that we talk about in cybersecurity, right? Don't go do that because you're just starting out. Who knows? You might be a protege. You might look at a challenge. You might look at that first Blue Team challenge and go, oh yeah, that's easy. I could do that. And you knock it out. And then the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. And then all those people who said that Blue Team Online is not for beginners, guess what you just proved them? You just proved them either that, yes, it is for beginners, and that if you're smart enough, you can absolutely do it, right? Do not let this industry tell you what you can and can't do. Don't do it. Please. That's how toxicity exists. Is when you allow the industry to define you. It is a soapbox moment. It absolutely is. Listen to me. Look, all right, here it is. All right, here we go. We didn't stream all week. I'm letting it out right now. This industry is so immature. And I don't necessarily mean in terms of age. I mean the self-entitled, opinionated stuff that happens in this industry because of a lack of perspective and because they want to define you based on their limitations. They want to define you based on their limitations, not yours, but they want to put limitations on you because they believe that if you succeed and you succeed past them, it will devalue their relevance in this space. And you need to understand that, and you need to fight against it, right? Every single person who hears my voice right now is capable, if you're not already there. And I will say this, every single person who uses my voice, if you are not already there, you will surpass me in knowledge, in experience, in capability. I know that for a fact. I'm willing to embrace it, and I'm willing to give you everything that's in this head, 25 plus years of experience in this head, to help you build your pedestal to get you there faster. Not everybody in this industry is willing to do that. And you need to recognize that when somebody is trying to hold you down, it's because they are afraid that you will surpass them. Okay? So don't, Harsh or anybody else, don't let them hold you down. Don't. Hillary is absolutely right. Absolutely right, Hillary. Actually, I bet to push this one. My screen jumped. Sorry, Hillary. I bet to push this one, right? In order to get a job in cybersecurity, you have to fulfill certain requirements. You absolutely do, right? You absolutely have to fulfill certain requirements. But the industry, from a job fill perspective, is broken. And we have people in hiring positions who have this egotistical mentality, and they're afraid to hire people. That's why you see job descriptions that say must have OSCP, right? Is because that's all they know, and they're afraid of hiring somebody smarter than them. And that's why I think we have to fight against, I'm all for fighting against this toxicity in the career path, right? I'm all for it. It's not going to happen overnight. And there will be people who will try to hold you down because they need you to adhere to their way of thinking about things. Now, you will have to fight inside of certain walls, but that doesn't mean that you have to give in to those walls at all, right? If you get to a job, if you know that you want to go work for Microsoft, I pulled that one out of my butt. I don't know if this is a true use case or not, right? You want to go work for Microsoft as a red teamer. And Microsoft, the hiring manager of Microsoft says you will never, ever be a red teamer unless you have OSCP, right? I'm not saying if that is truly your dream, I'm not saying don't go get OSCP. What I'm saying is make it your mission to fix the industry. Make it your mission to get into that organization and say, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get into your position and I'm going to hire people underneath me who don't have OSCP. I'm going to go take OSCP, but I'm going to start a YouTube channel, or I'm going to start a Twitch stream, or I'm going to start anything else, and I'm going to prove to everybody that OSCP isn't required to be great. Right? Fight against the stupid requirements and fight against, right? Fight against the ego and fight against the toxicity to put us into a better position tomorrow than we are today. Listen, we are losing, and I don't mean the US from like a nation state perspective. As an industry, we are losing the cyber war because we allow egos and gatekeepers to define for us what makes us great. We are allowing our own mentalities and our own egos to cause us to lose against cyber criminals, right? I saw somebody say it, right? You know, cyber criminals don't have certifications. They don't, but you do if you want to get a job. And so you have to fight that system that says, I need to get this job, but I'm going to do better by taking your job. I'll get your stupid certification. I'll cross your finish line. And then I'm going to take your job from you. And I'm going to prove how we're better than the next person or than the previous person. Right. And so like it is, I'm trying to instill a mentality that gets us to move past the limitations that we have put in as an industry on ourself. Soapbox is coming down. A little bit of a blood rush to the head. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea and take a breather on that one. I'm gonna step off the soapbox for that one for a little bit. Maybe it's time to do a giveaway. Now's a great time to make sure you're in Discord. If you're in Discord, make sure you're in Discord. Make sure you know how to reach Josh Mason in Discord. We're gonna give away two Blue Team Lab Online vouchers. You should see Streamlabs kind of come up with that one here in a little bit. Give you a big exhale. It's a passion of mine, right? It is a passion of mine. I utterly hate the toxicity that we have in this industry. It crushes my soul to see you all get put down because of somebody else's expectations. It literally crushes my soul. That's why I get so hyped about the two of them. I'm confused between red and blue team. This is not the only giveaway we will do today. Those of you who are only sticking around for the giveaway, this is not the only giveaway we'll do today. I'm confused between red and blue team. How do I work with them parallelly and focus to parallelly and focus to? How do I work on them? You should work on them. It's called purple team. You know where I'd start? Hit exclamation attack IQ in chat. Go to attack IQ and you can learn purple teaming. Go watch my purple teaming primers. I taught Jeff Goals, my fellow old guy, on Wednesday. I taught him purple teaming. I did a purple teaming primer. Right? So there's lots of content. When you talk about working on them in parallel, I would actually start with the concept of purple teaming. We had Carl Wright on stream and we talked about threat informed defense. Threat informed defense doesn't require you to be an expert in red or blue team. And it talks about how you can start doing purple teaming with one person in one organization without any tools, without any techniques, with just you doing it. Just you doing it, right? And so I think it is possible, but you have to change your mentality. And this gets back to what you're saying before. You're confused between red team and blue team, right? Red team has traditionally been focused on the offensive side of things. Blue team has traditionally been focused on the defensive side of things, right? And so when you look at the difference between the two, in the past, they have traditionally not worked together. And so the idea behind purple teaming is to create a better scenario where red and blue work together because the bad guys are working together to protect an organization. And that's why I encourage you to start on the purple team side. That's why I encourage you to start with Attack IQ and then branch out from there and continue to learn them both in parallel. Hopefully you entered into this Blue Team Labs Online, and I wish you the best of luck in terms of getting that, but I would go do Blue Team Labs Online in conjunction with doing Try Hack Me. Here's a fun exercise. It probably doesn't always work out like this, but it's a fun exercise to try. If you're doing a room on Try Hack Me, go over and try to find a room in BTLO that teaches you the defensive side of whatever that room was on Try Hack Me. I don't know if it exists. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but that would be a good challenge for you. Callie says, are you going to have any teammates for the CTF? I haven't even looked to see if it's going to allow me to have teammates for the CTF. If I do, this community will be the first to know if I can have teammates. Should I take CEH OSCP or eJPT? You should take eJPT and then ECPPTX, or sorry, ECPPT and then CPTX. You should skip CEH and you should skip OSCP. How to start bug bounty. I'm actually going to do a video on this. Another reason to make sure you got notifications turned on. I'm actually going to do a video on this, but I'll give you a sneak peek. Go today to Bug Crowd and HackerOne and start an account. Guess what? You've just started your bug bounty journey, but there will be a video coming out on that one. I just got my Security Plus certification last week. What cert course would you suggest afterwards for helping break into cybersecurity? Guess what? You have enough to break into cybersecurity, frugal sloth. You have enough, right? That gets back to that common misconception that I talk about, right? If you're looking for an entry-level job in cybersecurity and you have Security Plus, go look for an entry-level job. Listen, when you talk to people in this community, get on Discord and ask people in this community about getting their first cybersecurity role with no certification, or looking at getting into cybersecurity with one certification. We have use case after use case after use case of people in the cyber insecurity community. This is why people hate this community. What did Neil just say? People hate this community? This is why people hate this community, is because we are teaching people that you can get into cybersecurity without OSCP. We're teaching people how to get into cybersecurity without 10 years of experience. It happens. We got listen, in the last 7 days, 3 people of your community have gotten jobs in cybersecurity who have not followed the traditional paths that everybody else out there says that you have to follow. Right? If you got Security Plus, go out and find you an entry-level job. They exist. You can go get you an entry-level job. Guess what? Go break into cybersecurity. Go break into cybersecurity. Right? Don't let the industry dictate your future. Oh, this is a good one. I love it. I love answering these, right? It's rare that I get like the leadership ones, right? But I do love these. Keep the leadership ones coming. I do absolutely love it. What are your communication tips for interacting with executive leadership? Don't say a single technical word when you're talking to executive leadership. That's it. That is the number one advice. The number one advice when talking to executive leadership, right? Don't say a single thing. You need to learn how to talk business. You need to learn how to talk BSEC's favorite word, which is ROI, return on investment, right? And you need to be able to learn to speak to them on their level. Right? They care about profits. They care about cash flow. They care about the P&L. Right? Good. That doesn't mean I talk to them about it, because they have to talk to the CFO. They have to talk to the CEO. I don't care if your CISO has got a technical background. I don't care if your CIO has a technical background, because when they talk to their boss, they don't have a technical background. I don't know a single CFO that knows more about the TCP/IP stack than they do about the P&L. And if you don't know what a P&L is, go Google it, because that's probably the first thing that you need to understand about business, is what a P&L is. Executive leadership talks money. I don't care if your CISO and your CIO are technical. Talk money. They talk money, not tech. Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. And the sooner you come to grips, listen, when you talk tech to a CIO or a CISO, it's not because that's ever going to make its way up to the CFO or the CEO. Right? It's just for funsies. Right? It's just for funsies. Because what gets past that CIO or that CISO is the money conversation. Absolutely. Talk money. Fantastic questions. Why is there such an emphasis on certification and not on knowledge? Because we haven't conditioned the rest of the HR organization on how to measure knowledge. This is why you see me an advocate for hands-on training. Let me say that again. This is why you see me an advocate for hands-on training, is because if we can get the industry used to the fact that you have achieved something through hands-on training, that's how close we can get to certifying your knowledge. And I said close. I didn't say exact because it is difficult to be exact, but we can get close to certifying knowledge through hands-on. This is one of the reasons why I'm hugely excited about the acquisitions that we're making at Iony, right? When you look at Pentester Academy, right? Listen, I'll be the first one to come here on stream. I'll say it on a Tech Tuesday stream. I'll say it on an Iony live stream. Our labs from ELS, they're tanking. We know it. Like, I make no qualms about it. We bought Pentester Academy because we knew that we needed a better lab platform. And then when we saw how many labs they had, and then you add in the boot camps for Red Team labs, right? Put us past anybody else that's out there. And then you take that technology, you take that innovation that Pentester Academy has done, and you apply it to cloud, to networking, to DevOps, to programming, to data science, right? When you can take that same concept across the board, we will be the only place that actually gets you certified with real hands-on training from real experts. That's why we're focused on it, is because I think it is my belief that that's how we get close to certifying knowledge. All right. We done with the giveaway? Still got 15 seconds on the giveaway. If you want to get in on the giveaway is running for another 15 seconds. That's time to push another question. I just pulled an all-nighter to give a presentation in 20 minutes. Oh, God. Good luck on your presentation. That was an hour ago. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Have you been in this situation? What to do? Yes. Everybody, I think, has been in this situation. Right? I think everybody has been in this situation. It sucks. Sometimes you can do something about it. Sometimes you can't. There really is no advice I can give you. If you got in that situation because of poor planning on your part, plan better. Right? Plan better. Right? I love this one. Hold on, really quick. I try to go in order as much as possible, but I saw this one, Sack, and I want to kind of address this one really quick, right? What was that question? Right, most of us don't have thousands of dollars to pay for a cert. When we push for one, they ask for experience. Thousands of dollars is relative. right? And again, what I would say to you is that's why we have this stream, is so that we can increase accessibility to content. This is why Iony's motto, we literally had a meeting the other day where we talked about a strategy for things like regionalized pricing. We understand that $750 is different in countries like Africa and India than it is in the US and the EU. We understand that. I can tell you that there is a definitive strategy to do regionalized pricing. But this is why you can come here and I'll tell you all the free stuff you can do, like PTS, and then you only have to pay $200 for a cert, or you wait for us to do a giveaway, right? To get that stuff, right? That's why Josh Mason has Cyber Supply Drop. That's why when we have conversations with partners, it's help us get more people into cyber, right? There are lots of efforts that are going on, but that's not your only way to get a job. And this is SAC. This is the mentality I'm trying to get people away from, right? There's tons of places where you can go do hands-on for free. There are tons of places where you can go do hands-on for $10 a month. I'm encouraging that. Like, I'm not telling you to come to Iony for your cloud training because we're the only ones that's out there, right? You'll never catch that on this stream. You'll never, ever catch me say on this stream that you should only ever take training from Iony. I promise you that. I'm very, very clear on that, right? We know that there are places in the world where $750 is a lot of money. That's why Josh and I work very, very hard. That's why the entire cyber and security team works very, very hard. That's why Jerry works very, very hard. That's why Naomi works very, very hard. That's why Paul and the whole Cyber Human Initiative works very, very hard. That's why there's tons more streamers out there now than there even were a year ago when I first started this, that are trying to make this accessible. And so while that doesn't placate your desire, Neil, I want to have a cert. Neil, I want to have CEH. Neil, I want to have Sec Plus. No, that doesn't solve that problem. But what it does do is it gets you knowledge. Let me say it again, because we just talked about knowledge. It gets you knowledge. And then if you apply the other techniques that we talk about, right, such as networking, which is free. Hey, guess what? You want to know how much networking on LinkedIn costs you? $0. You want to know how much writing an article on LinkedIn costs you to show that you have knowledge in this industry? $0. You want to know how much it costs you to participate and volunteer for Trace Labs? $0. You want to know how much it costs you to volunteer for DEF CON and Black Hat? $0. How much it costs you to volunteer? You want me to keep going? Right? Most of you only are thinking about, I need the cert. Most of you are only thinking about the cert. Stop just thinking that this industry is about the cert. This industry is not just about the cert. When you get your head wrapped around that there is more to this industry than certifications, and listen, Brian's got a really good point here, right? Let's hit on this one real quick. I know the raffle's over for BTLO, but this is a critical point here, right? This is a critical point here. I'm gonna drop some cyber secrets on you right here. This is gonna blow some of you away in a way that you're not prepared for. There is no secret knowledge to Metasploit. I've just ruined every hacker's dream out there. There is no secret knowledge to Metasploit that you're going to learn at Iony, at OffSec, at TCM, at PTA, at CEH, at CompTIA, there is no knowledge that you're going to learn about Metasploit from any of those companies that you couldn't find for free on YouTube. Does anybody need me to say it again? There is no secret knowledge. There's no cow level. There is no cow level for my Diablo fans out there. There is no cow level to Metasploit knowledge. So why would you stress about paying for these courses to teach you something that you can get for free? It's because you're focused on the cert and you're not focused on the knowledge. Well, let me say that again for those in the back. If you think that there is a secret cow level to Metasploit that you're only going to learn from Iony or Heath or CompTIA, you're lying to yourself and you're ghastly mistaken in this industry, because everything there is to know about Metasploit is out there for free. I wouldn't even sell you a Metasploit course. I would teach it to you for free because it's out there for free, right? And so focus on knowledge, please. Focus on knowledge. Focused on the knowledge, not the cert. All right. I know you guys are all waiting desperately for the roll on the BTLO. So make sure you're in Discord if you're not already. We're going to pick two winners for BTLO. 1 month of BTLO. This is not the only giveaway we're going to do today. And I have to say that because I know that there will be a rush of people who will be like, deuces, I'm out, because they didn't win BTLO. So we're going to pick two winners. Make sure you message Josh Mason in Discord immediately so he can give you your access codes. While you're at it, everybody who's hearing my voice right now, while you're waiting for me to call your name, go to Twitter, go to LinkedIn, give a huge shout out to Josh Mason, the Cyber Supply Drop, hit ! partners, and give some shout outs to the rest of our partners as well. Because if it was not for the partners that we have, we would not be able to do giveaways. Our partners, every single partner that we have, facilitates these giveaways. At some point in time, we always do a giveaway, and it is because of our partner. So the first winner is Nilaba Saxena. Sorry if I butchered your name. Make sure you message Josh Mason in Discord. And Adrian Iovita. Make sure you message Josh Mason in Discord. And also, don't anybody go anywhere, because if these folks don't message Josh anytime soon, we will re-roll for the winners. And while that's happening and I'm waiting to get word in my ear, I will move on to the next question. The cert, listen, and I hate to get all fired up about the cert question. I know the cert question is the #1 thing, and I'm trying to figure out the right way to do a video on the cert question, right? I know that it is the question that everybody wants answers to. The certs will come. The jobs will come not because of the certs. And I say this in my networking video, right? Go watch my networking video, because I give some statistics about how jobs happen, and it has nothing to do with certs. Has nothing to do with certs. Sergio says, how do you make hard decisions? Do you find yourself more often making people, process, or technology decisions? Two good questions there. You should, as you get higher up in the food chain from like a leadership perspective, you'll find that it is a lot easier to make decisions if you break everything down to people, process, and technology, right? People, process, and technology. Those are the three things. If this is the first time you're hearing it, take notes. Take notes, right? People, process, technology. Those are the three things that make an organization go around, regardless of where you at, right? If you're tactical, you probably don't have an influence on people. You may only have a small impact on process and maybe a small impact on technology, right? But you do have an impact, right? As you get higher up, you have more of an impact on people. You have more of an impact on process. You have more of an impact on technology. And so when you start to think about things in terms of people, process, and technology, you actually, this is kind of what helped me develop. Like if you've ever seen me, you talk about like Neil's 3 rules, Neil's top 3 this. It's because it comes really, really easy to kind of go, okay, what are the 3 things that we need? People, process, technology, right? Everybody assumes, listen to me, this is important. Because everybody who's out there who is in the tactical level of their job right now, right? Your hands on keyboard, you're doing work. When you have more work than you know what to do with, most of you say, I need more people. Raise your hand out there in chat if you've ever been inundated with work and said, God, if I had more people, this would be so much easier. Right? That's everybody's go-to answer. Almost everybody's. I shouldn't categorize everybody like that, but that is almost everybody's go-to answer is, I need more people. That is the wrong mentality to have. You should never, as a leader, and I think that this is what happened, because I did the exact same thing. I've done the exact same thing. I've got too much work. I need more people. What I think you find is that as you become more of a leader, you realize that you should tune the knobs for process and then technology. And then after those two, then you can talk about people. But if you haven't worked on creating an efficient process, a process, even having a process where none existed in the past, right? If you haven't started with process and then worked on technology to help the process, you have no basis to talk about people. I want to make sure that's really, really clear, right? It's real easy for us to think that people solve the problem, but poor processes, inefficient processes will plague you. Listen, if you've got 5,000 pen tests, you're not going to run Nmap scan on every single one of them by hand, are you? Right? No, you're going to create a process and you're going to utilize technology so that you don't need more people. Right? Process, technology, then you worry about the people. And so back to your first question, and I do hope somebody clips that, right? I saw your statement, Hillary. I want to do that one after the question on hard decisions. Hard decisions are hard for a reason. Nobody likes making them. Lord knows I don't like making them, right? Nobody likes making hard decisions. I've sat in a room. My first hard decision, other than which girl to date in high school, right? My first corporate hard decision was I was working for a startup. This was 2001. This was March of 2001, long before 9/11. We had 105 people in the company at this startup that I had worked, and I was building a help desk. from scratch. Like I was leading the global help desk function for, if anybody remembers DoubleClick, this was a startup that was trying to compete with DoubleClick, if anybody remembers that, right? The CEO calls 8 of us into the conference room, and says at 2 p.m. today, we are going to fire everybody in this company except for you 8 people. And I couldn't even begin to explain to you. And I was 21 at the time that this happened, right? Chelsea, thank you so very much for signing up as a member. Welcome to the Narwhal Prime Club. Make sure you do exercise those benefits and come hang out with us in sub chat. Thank you so very much for that. I was 21 at the time that this happened, right? And the hardest decisions for me, first and foremost, was I had to walk out of that room and not tell my entire team what was going to happen because I cared about them. And then I had to stand next to my team at 2 p.m. when they called all of us in and said, the investors have pulled out their money. And unfortunately, we have got to lay everybody off in this company. And I had to share that news with my team. And to this day, like you can see me getting ate up about it to this day. I was not active military at the time. I was a civilian. I was working in the .com era in 2001 in a civilian job, right? Dev Null with the $20 super chat. Thank you so very much. Epic fail. Nice. That's a cute sticker. Yeah, I was 21. I'd never experienced this in my life. And I was working startups. I was on the startup roller coaster. I was crushed. To this day, that hard decision still wrecks my life, right? Thinking about how hard that was. I don't necessarily know that you ever find an easy way to make hard decisions. That's why they're hard decisions, right? And so I tell stories so that you can understand how I coped with scenarios like this. You know, happy to talk about it more, but that's why they're hard decisions, is because I have fired a number of people. I have fired clients. I have left relationships. I've made my share of hard decisions. They're hard for a reason. They're hard for a reason. I did get an announcement from Josh that he does have all of the winners. So congratulations on those 2 winners. We do have more giveaways to give, so don't anybody go anywhere. I did see Hillary's question pop up, or statement pop up, and I do want to address this since we were talking about the people, process, and technology side of things, right? She says, since processes generally use technology, you have to learn the technology before developing the process. I agree and disagree with this. My fear, and I'll say this from a leadership perspective, my fear with pitching a technology first strategy is that you incur technology debt without understanding where the gaps in process are, right? I've seen organizations say we need EDR before they even have an incident response process. Right? And I don't think you can respond to incidents with EDR without an incident response process. Right? And so learning the technology is important. I don't necessarily know that you need the technology in place first before you develop good processes, because I don't think you want to build your processes based around technology that may change whatever the case is that's out there, right? So that's my only counter to that one. Happy to banter it back and forth, but that's kind of my thought on that one. Does Iony PTS have a certificate of completion? It does not. It does not. I don't like certificates of completion. I think certificates of completion are kind of lame, to be quite honest with you. It's like a participation trophy, right? I don't think that, you know, I don't believe in certificates of completion, right? That's a hard one because I don't really believe in that one. So the answer is no. The answer is no. We probably won't do that. We are evaluating seriously. And I know this is one of the first questions I got when I took on the role as Chief Content Officer at Iony. I was asked back in March when I started the role if we would ever do acclaim badges. I can definitively tell you that yes, acclaim credly is a constant conversation that we have repeatedly. We have been having that conversation since March, right? We are still evaluating, right, the value of those badges, and we are still looking to try to figure out the best way to implement them and make sure that they have value for you all as learners. So if anything, you'll see us move towards credly badges. Synex CTF is live. Yes, Synex CTF is live. 100%. This is a good one from Sergio. What's the most important decision you've made and actions you've taken related to your career? Josh Mason will appreciate this one a little bit. When I learned that it was better to be right than to be proper. I love telling this story. The reason I say Josh will appreciate this one is because it has to do with a U.S. Air Force officer. So teaching has always been hand in hand with my life, right? So I spent time at the 1st Combat Communications Squadron in Ramstein, Germany. And the Air Force has a cycle, right? You do, and then you go teach, right? You will always have to teach in the Air Force at some point in time, right? You'll get to do for a while, but you'll have to teach. They make sure of that in most cases, right? And so I had been doing for a while, and then they wanted me to go teach, but they wanted me to go teach this was 2005, so we were 3 years into, you know, the Iraq and Afghanistan war. They wanted me to go teach combat-based communication to new folks who were coming into a combat communications squadron for the first time, right? You've probably seen me talk about this OP4 sign right up here, stands for opposing forces. This was our red team back in the day, right? And granted, it was primarily centered around physical security, but it was still red teaming that we were doing around physical security, social engineering, things like that in the Air Force. And so I was part of a combat communications unit, and then I went to go teach people how to do combat communication when they came to the unit. We were teaching them how to do convoy training, right? And so what we were teaching them was we'd learned that, you know, Al-Qaeda was realizing that whenever they would blow up a Humvee, we would all stop and get out of the Humvee and start attacking them, and then they would just blow up more IEDs and kill more of us, right? And so we changed our tactics mid mid-war to where if there was an IED explosion, we just continued to drive and we would send combat search and rescue in to clear the area, and then we would try to rescue downed Humvees in the case. And so we were teaching people simulated convoy, type of activity. We teach a simulated convoy type of activity, right? And so we were using quarter sticks of dynamite to simulate IED explosions. We were using blank ammunition. I think we've talked on stream about Miles gear and things like that before, right? We've talked about that type of stuff. So we were using all that stuff to simulate, a convoy being attacked. I was basically a cadre, which means that I was overseeing the scenarios and overseeing the students and instructing at the same time. So I was in a vehicle, I was in a trail vehicle, in a cadre vehicle, following the convoy. And we had just got done teaching this entire class that if they get into a IED explosion to drive through, right? It was very clear. We had just got done practicing it, right? So I'm in the trail vehicle. I've got an earpiece in my ear. I'm listening to Op4. Op4 says, we're about to execute the scenario. I call across my microphone. We're in position. Go ahead and execute the scenario. Quarter stick of dynamite goes off. Right? Boom. Simulated IED. Hear the, in my other earpiece, I hear the convoy commander, IED, 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 go, 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 go. The Humvee in front of me, which is the last vehicle in the convoy, comes to a dead stop. The rest of the convoy is gone. So I don't know what compelled the driver of this Humvee to stop dead in the middle of the road while the rest of the convoy is shooting down the road at 60 miles an hour. But the Humvee in front of me stops. Neil Bridges and E3, that means I'm 3 up from the bottom rung of the totem pole, jumps out of this vehicle, runs around to the passenger side of this Humvee, and with my most fervent karate chop hand, I am yelling at the person's face in the seat, "What the F are you doing? Get your ass back in the Humvee. Get up there with the rest of the convoy." And as I get halfway down that statement, I look on the shoulders and I see the nice bronze markings of a major, which is an officer. And my heart is sinking and racing at the same time that I am in E3 with my knife hand in an officer's face, yelling at him. Get back in the Humvee. They drive on. I call across the radio. "Hey, boss, I need to see you back at the tent." We go back to the tent. I tell him what happened. And he's like, "All right, Airman. We'll deal with it when it comes." And this is pretty early in the morning, so I had time to stew on this all day. Right? I had time to stew on this all day. We get around to shift change. We did shift change at 8 o'clock that night. We do shift change. And after we get done with shift change, Major says, "Airman Bridges, can you hang around for a little bit?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And this is it. This is it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm losing a stripe over this. I'm losing a stripe over this. I stand there at attention, arms down by my side. He's like, "Easy, be easy. It'll be fine. It's okay." And he said, "I've never been yelled at in my career by an airman." And it starts like that. And I'm like, oh boy, here it goes. And he goes, "I want you to know you probably just saved my life, because I will never, ever forget not to stop a Humvee in an IED explosion." And he thanked me, and he thanked me for doing the right thing. Sorry. And so, yeah, I learned that, sorry. It seems stupid, but I learned that day that it's more important to do the right thing. Of everything that you can do, in this industry, shit. Of everything you can do in this industry, everything you can do in your life, the most important decision you can make in your career is to choose the right decision over any other decision. Sorry about that. I don't know if he ever ended up in that scenario. I hope he never did, but do the right thing. Do the right thing. All right, looking for another question here. We will do another giveaway here in a little bit as soon as I regain some of my composure. Shit. All right. When you're doing social engineering or physical pen testing in a place, what happened when they catch you or understand you are lying? This is a really good question, Fredericks. So first rule, right, when you're doing pen testing, when you're doing social engineering type pen testing, right, is you want to have some get out of jail for free card, right? You know, some piece of paper that says Neil, whoever is working on a pen test, before you call the cops, call this person instead, right? Type of thing. I've made that as part of literally every engagement that I do. Most good pen testers do that, and most pen testers should have that on them. And I did it even when I was in the military. When we would do it in the military, we still had those types of you know, those types of notes on us, and so you should have that on you. I've definitely gotten caught. I've definitely gotten caught doing social engineering in some places, and I have had to pull that piece of paper out. And so I was doing a pen test in a hospital down in Louisiana one time, and it was one of these hospital networks where they have like 5 or 6 different hospitals, right? And so we were, if you saw David's video, some of the pictures that David showed from that pen test report, that was the hospital network that I'm talking about here. We actually did go into one building where we tried to break in, and they actually were like, hey, what are you doing here? We actually aren't expecting you. This seems really sus. Can we see some paperwork? Can we, blah, 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 something like that, right? And it does happen. It does happen. Your goal, right, is to push the limits, right? Just like any system that's out there, right? Just like any pen test that you do, any hack that you do, your goal is to push the envelope. You do need to kind of have, when you're doing social engineering, you do kind of need to have that moment where you say, okay, they actually would stop somebody from doing this type of attack, right? It's so hard to know where that point is, but you have to be realistic, right? You don't go on and on and on trying to break into a building for 30 minutes, thinking, well, a real attacker could go on and on and on for 30 minutes and eventually break that down. You want to try to be very strategic and very direct with the social engineering pretext that you're using. And if that pretext fails, right? And you need to recognize that your pretext failed. And when we talk about pretext, we talk about whatever story, right, that you're going to roll up in there with. I'm from IT, I'm from corporate, I'm the CEO's assistant, right? Whatever your pretext is, if your pretext fails, that's the same thing as if you try to throw, eternal blue at a box and it fails, right? right? You keep trying to throw Eternal Blue at that box like all day long, but if it's patched, it's not going to work, right? And so if you roll up into a place and you're like, this is my pretext and I'm going to roll with this pretext and it fails, that exploit has failed, right? And you need to be man enough to be like, okay, this exploit failed. This is pretty good. Either I failed on, I either failed on my OSINT when developing my pretext, I failed on my execution, or this system is actually not vulnerable to this exploit, right? And so, being prepared and thinking about social engineering engagements like that, especially in a physical pen test, I think that those are all kind of keys to being successful in that type of engagement. So it looks like we've got some Try Hack Me to give away too. We're going to complete this one and we're going to reset our giveaway. I'm going to take a moment and do 1 month Try Hack Me. 1 month Try Hack Me. Save. We'll do that one here in a minute. Again, this is why I tell you all don't go anywhere, because we are going to continue to do some giveaways as long as the hype flows. As long as the hype flows. Anybody watching the new Dune movie? Like I definitely grew up with the old school Dune, and I love that. Let the spice flow. Let the hype flow. I love it. Do make sure that you are in Discord if you're not already, because you are going to message Josh Mason. I'm going to let everybody take a moment, any new listeners that we have, to head on over to Discord and get over there. We'll answer a couple more questions on that one. I did lose my place on some of these questions, so I'm just going to go very, very random. I'm presuming you're talking about undefined creatures. You're talking about the folks who got jobs this last week. If you actually go back to last week's Tea with a Hacker, I actually did interview Josh, Angry Amoeba, one of your peers, on stream, and did grill him on the interview process. So if you are interested in that, I would go watch last week's Tea with a Hacker, because we did have Josh on. Let me talk to the other two folks who got jobs this week and see if they're interested in coming on stream and talking about their experience as well. Let the spice flow. I need a meme of that one, BSEC. Let the spice flow. Dev says, can we get a container specialist guest on stream? Let's make sure. So for those who don't know, we do have a content suggestion pool on Discord. Do drop these and many other suggestions on the stream, the content suggestion on stream, and we will do our best. I will add it to the requisition list for guests, and I'll have one of the interns get on that one. How do you get over feeling your talents are underutilized at work? You will never be... Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's a Cynical Neil. Cynical Neil wants to respond. Cynical Neil wants to respond with, you will never find a job where your talents are fully utilized. That's Cynical Neil responding. I've definitely been in jobs where I've worked hard and I've stretched myself. I've been in stretch careers. I think if you feel like you're underutilized, I would definitely look for opportunities inside the company to show value. I'm not saying utilize yourself more, because obviously I'm a huge advocate of work-life balance and things like that, right? I wouldn't say necessarily utilize yourself more, but I would definitely look for opportunities to highlight that you could bring more value based on your skill set. Okay? So I would say look for opportunities to highlight your talents. So with that one being said, that should give everybody enough time to get into Discord. We're going to start the raffle for Try Hack Me. We're going to give away 2. We're going to pick 2 winners for a 1-month Try Hack Me. And just because BSEC said it in chat, just cause BSEC said it in chat, I want to talk to everybody real quick about this NFT thing, right? I mentioned the metaverse. We had a conversation. If you want to hear my take on the metaverse thing, and the whole Facebook thing, go check out last week's Tea with a Hacker, right? Because I talk a lot about my thoughts on the BSEC, or I mean, my thoughts on BSEC. If you only knew my thoughts on BSEC. I talked a lot about the metaverse, where I thought that was going, right? My thoughts on it. I talked a lot about that last week. In the last week, so for those of you who have asked about learning, you want to talk about a site inside of Neil's brain, right? What was it? Wednesday or Thursday, Facebook announces the company changed to Meta. I saw it on CNBC. Started down a rabbit hole on metaverse that took me through the weekend. Learned about the metaverse and what's been going on in the last year with metaverse. Knew that NFTs were a thing because everybody knows that I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's been talking about NFTs for a while. Went down a rabbit hole on NFTs. Called Net Frazier on Sunday. I had an hour-long drive down to the golf course on Sunday. Called Net Frazier and brain dumped onto Net Frazier everything I had learned about the metaverse and NFTs up until that point in time. We brainstormed a couple of ideas then, and I went and go play golf, and I came home, and the brainstorming continued Sunday night. Monday, basically every day this week, I have done some level of research on NFTs, the metaverse, virtual reality, and obviously cybersecurity has wrapped a bubble around all of those concepts. So for the last week, when we talk about like how does Neil like think about things and what is Neil like rabbit holes that Neil goes down? Hello. That's Neil looking down the rabbit hole on this NFT and metaverse thing. So last Friday was not the end of that conversation on metaverse, by the way. A year ago, and BSEC brought this up last night, as a matter of fact, a year ago, I floated the concept with the community when we were doing giveaways about challenge coins. You can't see it, but right there on that wall, right here, I've got my box, my shadow box with all my shadow coins on it from the military, right? And if you don't know what shadow coin is, challenge coin is, right? You've seen them. Right, they're the physical coins. They've got some cool design on one side, some cool design on the other side, right? And most people put them up on you know, in placards or things like that. And all of a sudden, like, it started to click with me that when you think about this, right, all that is a collectible. And if anybody remembers on stream, right, when I got my LASIK done, there was actually a legitimate poll that went out where people wanted me to raffle off my Gunner glasses for a collectible, right? And so I got to thinking about this whole NFT thing, right? And we've got a lot of memories in the cyber insecurity community, right? We've been doing this for a year. And so I put up a poll, most of you have probably seen it, where I talked about, are you interested in NFTs? And there was yes and no's, which I expected, but I put a third option down there, which was, do you even know what an NFT is? And 45+% of our community doesn't know what an NFT is. And so I wanted to share with you that we have created a cyber insecurity collection, and I saw Josh post the link of it, where we've taken just a handful just to experiment with it, and we've created on the blockchain the original artwork for things like the narwhal that is used in the emote. The original artwork that Ethcode, Cybersec Mom, used to submit for that challenge. We took the BSEC memes, the original copies of the BSEC memes, and put them on the blockchain. We took an unreleased video clip. If anybody remembers this stream, there was a stream where Jeff asked me if I was a small business owner and I was given $100,000, what would I do? And I said the F word on stream. It's never seen the light of day for obvious reasons. But I took that clip and we NFT'd that clip, right, of that particular thing. And so the idea around it was to play around with this idea of making collectibles out of some of the pivotal moments that we have on stream. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because we talked about this in sub chat. And I made the comment about being a boomer earlier, and somebody said, Neil's not a boomer, he keeps up with the times. Right? And I appreciate that comment. And I don't want to use boomer in a degrading type of fashion, but the conversation that I had with folks in sub chat that night was, hey, look, we're old enough to remember touching a baseball card, touching a physical baseball card, right? I remember growing up collecting baseball cards. And so for us, that's what we remember about a collectible, is a physical baseball card, because that's how we grew up. We have to acknowledge, and this is how it ties back around to the metaverse conversation, right? We have to acknowledge, whether we like it or not, when you see Facebook go all in, when you see Microsoft go all in, when you see Gary Vaynerchuk go all in on NFTs, when you see Mark Cuban, listen, go take a look at Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is backing a company that is making a business model on NFTing streamer clips. Some big, huge streamer gets a 10 kill streak in Call of Duty, and it gets clipped and added to the blockchain as a collectible moment for that streamer. And you can be a boomer and you could say, who would ever buy an NFT? And it's people in this day and age who don't want a physical baseball card anymore. They want a collectible that highlights a moment that they remember in digital form. This NFT thing is not going away. We were looking at this the other day, and we were experimenting. Twitter NFT profile picture. There it is. Right? Twitter, not a month ago, is working on and actually gave a demo.
Hello. So
actually gave a demo of adding an NFT to your profile pic on Twitter. And so whether you agree with it or not, that's not the argument that I want to make. NFTs are here to stay. The metaverse is going to be something here to stay. And so when we talk about learning, we talk about education, we talk about being up to date on what's happening in the cyberspace. Do you understand NFTs? Do you understand the blockchain? Do you understand the metaverse? Right? Do you understand its implications? Do you understand how it's going to change how we communicate, how we trade data, how we trade information? If you're boomering, just for the lack of it, on NFTs in the metaverse because you don't understand it, you have to realize that companies going all in on this means that you're going to have to contend with it, right? And so I say all this to say what exactly, right? We're going to continue to put some of our best memories from, this stream up on the metaverse, or not up on the metaverse, up on the NFTs, right? We've done a lot. BSEC had a really good point about reviving the challenge coin example, right? Where we create a cyber insecurity challenge coin and we NFT it. One of the things I didn't get to show you that I've discovered as part of this NFT, and then we'll pick the winners, right? One of the things that I've discovered as part of this NFT, just some cool stuff, right? Stoner Cats, there it is. So Mila Kunis has got this Stoner Cats thing where this NFT gives you, shoot, it's not in this one. We were playing around with this the other day. You buy this NFT, and inside of this NFT, there is a website called Mintgate where you can create gated content using an NFT. And so we talk about this from a cybersecurity perspective. How do you find out, how do you gain access to that gated content outside that NFT? What are the implications of having an NFT that gives access to 0 days, or an NFT that gives access to code, right? Maybe you could track that NFT so that you can see who accessed a particular tool or tactic or procedure that's out there, right? So these NFTs can be used not just as a collectible, like we're showing here on the Cyber and Security, but you can also gate content. And so like Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, has created NFTs that get access to his conference. How much longer is it going to be before Black Hat, DEF CON, or your local B-Sides embraces NFTs to gain access to conferences? And then how do you prevent fraud and forgery of those NFTs to gain access to the conferences, right? This stuff, whether you like it or not, whether you embrace it, this stuff is here to stay, right? And so, as you can see, I'm getting more and more hyped on this as we could talk about. We've obviously created a cyber insecurity NFT, gallery. We have not put any of them up for sale yet. We're really still kind of playing with how do we make it beneficial to the community. We want them to be collectibles that you all get some value out of. And so the team is in a collective effort to, just like we do with everything else, try to find value that we can give to folks for collecting NFTs. But I would highly encourage you that if you have not brushed up on NFTs and the metaverse, this is Neil putting in sand, clip it. I come back to this statement in a year. We'll be having a vastly different conversation on NFTs than we're having right now. We're going to have a vastly different conversation on the metaverse than we're having right now. And it's going to be so much further along than it is. So yes, my goal by the end of the weekend is to have every BSEC GIF converted to an NFT. My goal for the weekend is to have a draft version of a challenge coin up on that collection. And so bookmark that collection, go back and check on it. And like I said, the team is working on ways to make it valuable for everybody. So with that being said, let's pick our 2 winners for our Try Hack Me 1 month. Make sure you are ready to message Josh Mason inside of Discord so that you can get those codes. The first winner for the Try Hack Me is Sans Creedy. Sans Creedy, make sure you message Josh Mason. And the second winner is Miss K. Miss K. Make sure you do message Josh Mason. And here's the thing. There will always be people who want a physical coin. I'm not saying that it's a world of one or the other. I'm not saying it's a world of one or the other, but this world is here right now, right? And so, there are people who want this form of collectible. For those people, I can tell you that the community is working on a way to give you that form of that collectible based on memories that we have here so that you can own a piece. And I think listen, think about that for a second. I think that this is what took me the longest about this concept, right? Yeah, you can copy the GIFs off of Discord. You can copy them off of BSEX Imager, and I'm not trying to downplay that whatsoever, right? Not trying to downplay that. To some people, that's going to be fine. What we're doing is we're solidifying we're solidifying those memories on the blockchain. Meaning that if Imager goes away tomorrow, if Discord goes away tomorrow, for whatever reason, those images become hard to find at some point in time in the future, right? Somebody will have, right? Somebody out there will unequivocally own the original narwhal that Josh Bensfeld, Angry Amoeba himself, drew by hand. It's not a Van Gogh. It's never going to go for $1 million. The intent is not ever to sell it for $1 million. But this means something to Josh. This means something to me. This means something to me because it was, go back and watch the narwhal video on YouTube if you want to see the history of this thing. Like, there is sentimental value attached to this. And I think that was what was the hurdle that I had to get over, is that this digital image has sentimental value, at least to two people, to Josh and I, right? And so why not give somebody the opportunity to own and solidify that ownership on the blockchain, the original Narwhal OODA Loop hoodie mascot? Eth Code, right? Cybersec Mom. You've seen her in chat. She's an amazing individual. She is hustling out there, put her time and effort into creating the cyber warrior imagery that you all are using on a day-to-day basis. This means something to two of us, to her and to I. This is valuable. And so that's what I would encourage you, right? Is that, yes, owning a physical coin is precious and it is valuable. Owning a Van Gogh is precious and valuable. This is just a digital form of owning something and saying that you get it, right? Real quick, I'm on. Real quick. Is this a sales stream or a cyber education stream? This is a community, Amon. This is a community. Welcome to the community. And this is a community that has been going on for a year. It is neither of those things. It is a community. Okay? Leave with that toxicity. Leave with that toxicity. You are not, toxic is not welcome here. Toxic is not welcome here. So part of this, being a community, is making sure that we give value to the community. Because there are people here who have spent a year, if not more, dedicating their lives to making this community awesome. We got people who work in their personal time to make sure that this community is awesome. We have people who come in and tune into this stream. Oh boy, get the soapbox out. Tune into this stream 3 to 4 to more days a week to get their questions answered, to get their cyber advice. I make myself available to 20,000 plus subscribers every day in my own time on Discord and everywhere else, so that everybody has access to the best cyber information that is out there. This is a community. This is a community where, yes, you're going to get educated, you're going to get support, and you're going to get value. But we will not tolerate toxicity. And if you don't like the sales pitch, don't listen to it. If you don't like listening to me promote our partners, don't listen to it. If you don't like that we have partners, we have companies that promote this stream as a way for people to get educated and into this industry. We have companies that give donations of training and certification for you. I give you access and insider tips to everything that goes on at Iony, not because I'm told to, not because Iony promotes this stream, but because you deserve the answers and the insight. right? I sit in sub chat and answer questions. I answer every single solitary DM. I don't turn a single person away. But one thing we will not tolerate on this stream is toxicity. We will not tolerate toxicity on this stream. Not in this community or anywhere else where you see me. And so if you don't like the content, walk away. I streamed this stream when it was 4 people and 3 of them were Carmen and I. And I'll go back to streaming that every day of the week. I do this because I love it. I don't do it for the money. I don't make, listen, I'll release a transparency report. I don't make a dime on this stream. I don't make a dime on this stream. My time is what you're getting. And if you don't like it, I have no problem helping you find another stream where you can get your questions answered. Sorry for the soapbox, but I am telling you. Just for that, we're going to give away an Iony premium sub. Wasn't going to do it. Just for that, we're going to give away an Iony premium sub. Just for it. Just for that. Just to let me check with Josh and make sure he's got the winners. Reroll. Okay, so we're going to reroll for one of the Try Hack Me's. We're going to reroll for the next Try Hack Me. Chelsea Wilson, congratulations on your Try Hack Me. Message Josh Mason. After we do this one, we will re-roll, or we will roll for an ID premium to keep the positivity going. Let's see what else. What's that? Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you. Love the mods. See, mods in my ear. If you're going to roll for the Iony premium, make sure you go to Iony right now and sign up, because I need your email address that you signed up with Iony on right now. And you can't already have an Iony premium sub. So this is for net new people who don't currently have an Iony premium sub. So those 2 conditions need to be met before I can give away an Iony premium sub. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Here's a big 4 one. Just because we talk a lot on this stream about a big 4. Yeah, if he's apologized in chat, let's not pile on him. You know, no need to. Again, that's still toxic, and I'll apologize if I came across toxic. But I'm very, very passionate that is not the culture that we have on here. Do not pile on him. If he did apologize, I may not have seen that in my tirade go across the stream. But if he apologized, let's not pile on top of it. Back over to this one, a big 4. Let's talk about the big 4. Starting at a big 4 as a cybersec analyst in January. Do you think as a fresher in the field that your work-life balance will be harder? Absolutely. Absolutely. Big 4 is rough. And I say this, go back and watch again the interview with Angry Amoeba that I did last Friday, because we talk about a big 4, right? And again, Carmen just came from 10 years at a big 4. Carmen just came from 10 years at a big 4, right? And so, you know, and I spent a year there myself working with PwC, right? PwC is rough. PwC is rough. EY's a little bit better. Deloitte's a little bit better, but they have a hard time with work-life balance. What I'll tell you is you'll never get as much experience as you'll get in a big 4. This is why I'm a huge advocate for it, is that as a fresher, it is hard to balance what it is that you want to learn, your desire to push yourself to be in every project that you've got out there, right? And to maintain that work-life balance. And the big 4 doesn't empathize with you when you're like, hey, I need a break. So my advice to everybody who wants to be in a Big Four, everybody should consider at some point in time going to work in a Big Four. Hands down. I think that the knowledge you get from working in a Big Four in cybersecurity is unparalleled. At no point in time in my career did I talk to 4 Fortune 100 CISOs in the exact same week, directing them on their cybersecurity strategies. You just can't do it, right? You can't get that experience anywhere else, right? And so that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm a huge advocate for being on a Big Four. Definitely watch the work-life balance. All right, looks like Chelsea messaged Josh. Thank you so much for that. We'll go ahead and close that one out. Let me set this one up for an Iony Premium. This is always why it's best not to leave the stream until we say we're done with giveaways. One Iony Premium subscription. Make sure if you haven't already, you go to Iony, you create your Iony account. We will need that email address. You can message Josh Mason with this one too. Give the new joiners a chance to hop into Discord if they haven't already. Passed eJPT earlier this year and in the middle of EWOPT right now sound like a good plan. I think EWOPT is a fantastic plan. What I would advise you, Pugin, Hunley, and anybody else who's in this kind of same boat, go to BugCrowd, go to HackerOne, sign up for their programs and start doing, especially if you're taking web application penetration testing, start doing bug bounties at the same time that you're taking a web application certification in class. That way you get the benefit of both at the same time. Our hiring team's looking for Try Hack Me, Cyber, and Hack the Box experience is a plus for my chances to get hired, or should I translate that and remove the learning platforms from my resume? I'm a huge fan of leaving the learning platforms on your resume, Nathan. The HR people may not understand Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, and Cyber, but I guarantee you the hiring managers probably do. And that's why I would leave it on your resume for sure. How can a beginner explore Purple Team? Hit exclamation point attack IQ in chat and start with the attack IQ free training on attack IQ on purple teaming. Definitely. I posted a question in the career advice on Discord. Would you be willing to take a look and give your opinion on it, please? It's a bit long-winded to put in YouTube chat. Send me a DM, Jonathan Parker. Remind me so that I've got that little one up in my upper left-hand corner of the screen that says, hey, you got a little reminder to do. But if you give me a reminder, the answer is yes. I absolutely will. We answered that one. Okay, I think we're good. We'll go ahead and start the giveaway for it. We're going to be giving away right now a 1-year Iony Premium sub. I'm working on getting cyber secrets, right? Again, this is the benefit of having me here. I'm working on trying to get the mechanisms put in place so that I can give access to Pentester Academy. In addition to all of this, working on that. I don't have that right now, but I am working on it. Right now, it's just Iony Premium in its current state. Does the cybersecurity workshops helpful? Some are free to attend. They're helpful for knowledge, right? Again, let's start talking in terms. Let's make sure we're having the conversation, knowledge and even if we call it knowledge and credentializing, right? Knowledge and certifications, right? Does it help with knowledge? My answer to knowledge will always be based around, right? if you started with X knowledge or X gap of knowledge and taking a workshop increases that knowledge, it's worth it. It's that simple of a formula. If there's a workshop on DNS and you struggle to understand DNS and taking a free workshop on DNS gets you more knowledge on DNS, you should absolutely take a free workshop on DNS. It's an easy flow chart. Real quick, cyber secrets. Here's the flow chart. Is workshop available? Yes. Is it free? Yes. Do I have the knowledge? No. Take workshop. Just like that. Just like that. If there is a free workshop in knowledge that you do not currently possess, it is absolutely worth it. Please, please don't pass up things like that. Chase coming through with what's a good entry-level job in cybersecurity. Information security analyst is 1, SOC analyst 1, junior penetration tester, yes. Did I say SOC analyst? I said SOC analyst, incident response analyst 1, risk analyst on the GRC side, IT auditor, cybersecurity auditor, associate, anything with an associate in the title. You'll see this very, very common in the Big Four space. Anything with associate in the title is also very, very helpful. One of the things that we are doing on Iony side, just on this, is we're trying to add more job roles. So when we talk about career paths, I'll give you a little insight just because I keep seeing more and more of our beta drawings of career paths coming for Iony. We're trying to make it so that on the career path visual for Iony, you can see all the job titles that are possible, especially in cybersecurity, for an entry-level role. So yes, I'm hoping that we'll have a better visual for you to be able to see that as well. I got that one about the Big Four. Do you think learning for certs like CompTIA or SCCP can be used to fill in some gaps in knowledge gained with hands-on, like frameworks, processes, and procedures? And again, if you look at the syllabus of CYSA and SCCP, and you like the content on the syllabus, and the syllabus looks like it fills in knowledge gaps, I think that that is a perfectly fine litmus test to do with yourself to say that this education is worth learning, right? That should be everybody's criteria for deciding if some piece of education is worth learning. Oh, they're teaching X, Y, and Z. So if I go back over right to our Gantt chart, right? Or not our Gantt chart, our Gartner chart that I'm putting together. When I talk about, like, this is how I view certifications and training, right? Cost to value. Every dollar spent to value on the right-hand side, meaning that if it's free on the left-hand side and I get a lot of value, it's going to be moved very, very quickly to the right. Right? Value to your career bottoms up, meaning how far is that going to progress you in your career, not your right now problem. Right? This is a mentality that I'm very much a big fan of, right? I'm not here to solve right now problems. I'm here to solve career problems. I'm here to solve big picture problems. I'm here to solve how you see the industry problems, right? And so the value to your career is meant to be, how do we put you in a position that over time you are a better cybersecurity person tomorrow than you are today? And so when I ask this question, or when I answer a question, Adrian, like I see on screen, the question really boils down to, how do I see the dollar value of putting money into CYSA or SCCP versus the value to my career? And so since it's CompTIA on this beta version, And again, this is strictly a beta version that I have not released. It does not have a grading criteria associated with it. Grading criteria is completely and totally blank. So take it 100% with a grain of salt because I haven't called this official yet. Okay? This is how I view anything CompTIA related, right? On a cost of value, it's relatively cheap versus what it gives you, but on a value to your career perspective, I don't hold it in a lot of value, right? And so that's how that's how I would encourage you to start framing your mentality when you're thinking about certifications is every dollar that you put in, what are you getting out, ROI? And then what is the value to your long-term career growth? Not the problem that you're solving right now, if that makes sense. I talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to give you an unofficial answer to this one. When can we expect the AWS and Azure exam results? Cyber Secrets, Iony Secrets. The Azure exam and the Azure content is going to go back to the drawing board. We had a horrible, and again, go back and watch some of the videos. Go back and watch the video with Brooks where we talked about what's going into building these exams. Talk about how we've hired somebody who's got a PhD in instructional design to help us make sure that we have a scientific and statistically accurate process when writing an exam. The Azure exam did not meet those quality standards. It just didn't. This is why it was a beta program, right? So I'll tell you that right now. The Azure exam, regrettably. The AWS we're still reviewing. So I could probably say with probably like a 51% accuracy, nobody will get their results for the Azure exam because it did not meet our quality standards. I can't promise that I will be able to give individual scores, but I see Dev's comment in chat. I will take it back to the team and see if the team would still be willing to give you your individual scores so that you know how you did. But there will not be a release of that content in its current state because it didn't meet the quality standards, right? AWS, looking like we might get some of the AWS stuff out the door. We're still kind of evaluating that on the same standard basis. Cloud Fundamentals is getting a new name. I can't talk about what that new name is yet, right? That's just one of those insider things, but I can't talk about the new name for the Cloud Fundamentals yet, but it's going to get a new name. Those who have already taken it will still get the certification. That's all going to happen. You know, but it's gonna show up under a different name than that, and that's because we found some, and again, transparency. I have no problem being transparency, right? We found that fundamentals didn't have the same market reach that we wanted it to, and it didn't tie directly to a job role. And so getting back to kind of the core mission that we have at Iony, which is helping you in your career, we didn't feel like the fundamentals nomiker actually helped you in the career path. And so we're going back from a branding perspective to try to help it be something that helps you in your career. So just in the essence of transparency, that's the work that we're doing, so that again, when you all ask, like, is Iony Certs going to have value to the industry? This is part of that having value to the industry. Obviously, they need to be cognitively difficult. They need to be demonstratively hands-on, and they need to be marketed as such so that they have value to the industry. We're working on that third piece because we want you to have a certification that lands you a job. So happy to answer Iony questions. Again, I make that transparent, you know, to everybody here on the stream, that I'm happy to talk about those because I want you to have that transparency. Hillary, thank you so very much for asking this. I've avoided this question. I have avoided this question. It's not coming along very, very well. And I'm having second thoughts about the book. I'm having second thoughts about the book. I did tell you to keep me accountable, and I appreciate it. I 100% appreciate it. I'm having second thoughts about the book, and I'm happy to talk about this. I'm happy to talk about this. Like, as you could tell, I'll cry on stream. I apparently have no shame in doing that, so I have no shame in talking about this. When I look at getting back to bringing value to the community, right? When I get back to looking, by the way, looks like we got a minute and a half on the raffle. If you're just now coming in, we're a minute and a half away from closing the raffle for a 1-year Iony premium sub. If you haven't already entered, if you've already entered, don't enter again. There's no need to be like, well, let me just double check and let's make sure that I entered. You know, you don't have to do that. But if you haven't, oh, did the raffle? My timer says it's already going. My timer says it's got a minute to go. Oh, okay. Well, damn you, Streamlabs. Streamlabs is lying to me then. Streamlabs is lying to me. Either that or you all are in the future. Are y'all in the metaverse already? Anyway, there are a lot of books out there. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at in the thought process on the book. And this is not imposter syndrome. This is why I haven't talked about it, right? Is because I don't want people to misconstrue my thought process versus imposter syndrome. Just when I talk about like where I put my time and effort to make sure that I give the most value back to the community, I don't necessarily know, and I'm not necessarily convinced anymore that a book is the best value that I can get to the community. And if you recall from our book conversations, I only was doing it as a milestone for myself based on my own personal desires. But as I really sit back and look at it, and I start to think about the value that I bring to the community, I don't necessarily know or agree that a book is the way that I bring the most value to the community. What if I simply took, listen to me, let's think about this for a second. What if I simply took the book content and I made videos that I gave away for free? What's the difference? What's the difference? Right? I don't have Pact publishing it, so what? You all were the only people who were going to buy my book anyway. So why not just give the information away for free? You see me on this stream. I'm not a fan of gating content, right? I ask the mods as we have this conversation, you know, about NFTs. At no point in time, we're all keeping each other in check, like we don't gate content, right? And so if there's something I can give away for free that does mean something, that does help somebody in their career, and it's all clean Bobby one, passive income. Absolutely, it's passive income. But I that's not my motivation. That's not my motivation. Listen, if I wanted passive income, I wouldn't be streaming. I wouldn't be streaming. Like, I've been streaming for a year. If I wanted passive income, I wouldn't be streaming, right? And so, like, I'm starting to doubt the book. And I'm starting to think that there might be a better way for me to give you all that content without it never being a book. Happy to talk about this in sub chat. If you're a Narwhal Prime, or if you're interested in being a Narwhal Prime, now's a fantastic way to jump in on that train. Happy to jump in sub chat. Sub chat is not where productivity goes to die, as DevNull makes it out to be, but we do have some very, very awesome conversations in sub chat. If you are a Narwhal Prime and you're not participating in sub chat, I would highly encourage you to get on it. We only stream for a certain number of hours during the week, right? And so sub chat is a way for us to have more and more cybersecurity conversations outside of the stream. So with that being said, let's pick a winner for a 1-year premium subscriber. Make sure you're ready to message Josh Mason in Discord. That winner is Maddox 1994-991. Make sure you message Josh Mason immediately. While I'm waiting to hear from Josh on that one, I want to thank everybody, each and every stream, right? I know the soapboxes are fun. I know seeing Neil get contentious is always a good laugh. I've been doing this for a really, really, really long time. And I'm serious when I say I want everybody who hears my voice now or in the future to have access to every piece of information, every piece of knowledge, and every ounce of wisdom that I've gained over the last 25 years. Everything that I do with David, with you, in Discord, I do because I want to make sure that you all get value. You all get value. Right? And so if I'm not giving you value, please give me feedback. Give me feedback in the sense of going into Discord and in the content suggestion, please put in there what I can do to bring you more value. Right? If there are content suggestions you have that you'd like to see more of, literally the interns look at that stuff and we look for ways to try to bring that value to you. Support our partners. My ask of you is support our partners. I'm serious. Our partners provide prizes and discounts for you, whether it's VMware, whether it's Query, whether it's Root, right? They all provide prizes and discounts for you because they believe in you. Because we go out there and we sell them on the value that you all have in protecting the world that we live in. So my ask of you, look, I'm not asking you to buy anything from them, but add them on social media. Tell them you saw them here, right? Tell them you saw them here, right? That's all I want you to do. Just acknowledge that you saw them, right? Most of them, like Attack IQ, provides free training. And you know our stance. Go do the free stuff first. There's free training on MITRE, free training on purple teaming, right? They have an entire academy with free training. Why aren't you doing it? Right? We're here. Wherever you are in your career, whether you're at the beginning, whether you're at the end, wherever you are in your career, wherever you are in your career, we got you. Does that mean, Josh, that you got him? I take it. Listen, my last thing. And again, I want to say thanks to everybody who reached out to me this week. Social media can be toxic, and I do my ever-loving best to stay above it. I have to be on social media, and I feel like I have to be on social media because I don't feel like there's not enough people in this community. There's not enough people who need to hear the message of positivity that we're trying to get from this industry. There are not enough people who need free stuff given to them. Let's put that in perspective. There's not enough people who need free stuff given to them. And so if you want to help, let's get more eyeballs on this channel. Let's get more people in this community. Let us take over the toxicity that you see on Twitter. Let us take over the toxicity that you see on LinkedIn. Let us take over the toxicity that exists in other companies and exists in other communities. Let's take it over with a community of positivity here. And so if you find the content valuable, if you find the environment uplifting and positive, if anybody on this team, because I do view us as a team, has helped anybody, that is an opportunity for them to help somebody else as well. Right? If we can help one, we can help two, we can help 10, we can help 100, we can help everybody. So that's my ask. Let's get them here. Let's help them, and let's make cybersecurity awesome. All right. Do you mind if I plug you to coworkers, subreddits, etc.? I don't care where you plug me. Right? I don't care. The hate will continue. Go back and watch my tirade on perspective, right? Go back and watch my tirade on egos, right, from earlier in the stream. I don't care. I'll shoulder that. That's on me. That's on me. I got it. You don't worry about it. Get people here who need to hear this message, and we'll take care of them. I'll shoulder the hate. I'll shoulder the hate. I got you. I got you. With that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. It is Friday. I haven't heard from Jack. I don't know if Jack is doing Tipsy Cyber this week or not. But if not, you can always catch us in sub chat. You know that is definitely where we will be, is in sub chat. And listen, whether you're on the red side, whether you're on the blue side, whether you're still deciding, I'm so glad you chose to spend your time with us. I'll see y'all next time. I said that, but I did not stage my outro.
Maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back?